G'day, Sara Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat. And today we are speaking to Mr. Dan Kelly, who is the head man at a Resilience training centre in Melbourne, as well as the newest promoter in town, ahead of the first ever Melbourne Fight Series amateur MMA show. As well as we also talk a little bit about Sara Collins versus Cris Cyborg. But a huge thank you to Dan Kelly for the time. If you don't know who Dan Kelly is, he is a very, very talented judoka, very, very talented MMA fighter. Had a great run in the UFC. Then coached guys like Cal Potter when he was in the UFC. Cal Potter still, Cal still, he works at the gym. As well as Sara Collins, as I just mentioned. But we talk about the upcoming fight show, all the details about it, when it is, where it is, where you can get tickets. That's all discussed in this, but it's on October 24th in the western suburbs of Melbourne. And you can get tickets, I believe it's during, it's via Eventbrite. It is in the link in the description down below in this video. A huge thank you to Dan Kelly for the time. And without further ado, here's my interview with Dan Kelly. G'day, Sara Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat. And ahead of both a huge fight for the gym, as well as a new fight show, I'm talking to Mr. Dan Kelly. Dan, I thank you so much for joining me today. You were coming to me live from Peru. How are you today?
I'm okay. It's what, 8 o'clock at night here. We've got a competition tomorrow for judo. And yeah, as I said, 24 hours notice to come down here. I wasn't meant to be here coaching. I was meant to be at home finishing off organizing our first event. So fun times.
How did you get roped into coming to Peru on 24 hours notice?
So my full-time job is I'm the head coach of the national judo team. And our other junior coach, who was meant to be coming, tore his bicep tendon on the Wednesday, and everyone was meant to be leaving on the Friday. And so he got an MRI, got it assessed, and he needed urgent surgery on that because it had crept back up his arm a little bit. And if he didn't get it fixed straight away, he'd be looking at long-term damage and implications on that. So I get to come to Peru for 2 weeks. So
how do you feel about that?
It's part of the job. I've done it before at the end of COVID, where we had to test before we could come into these events. One of our other coaches still had was still testing positive 14 days after she'd had COVID, so I had to do this again. It's just part of the job. Have to step up when needed.
When stuff like that happens, and you come home and you're like, I'm going to Peru for 2 weeks. Goodbye. What is the family reaction? How do they handle it?
Well, my wife works for the Judo Federation. She's actually kind of like my boss. So she's the one who said, you're going to Peru. So it wasn't a discussion point. She was the one who was kind of saying, well, yeah, looks like you have to go.
So so it was the opposite. Someone came home and told you must leave.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, we knew what had happened. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to come down here, but that's okay.
You're there nonetheless. Obviously, you mentioned the full-time job is working for judo. Before the MMA journey for you was judo. How do the two things compare? Before you're now a head coach, high-level MMA, but you're there for a judo comp coaching. How does it compare before you coach for an MMA fight compared to a judo comp?
So judo is different because they compete so much. For someone to qualify for the games, they're competing 24 times in 2 years approximately, whereas an MMA, high-level MMA fighters, it's maximum 4 times in a year. And they know their opponent. You're pretty much sleeping with the opponent in your head for a good 12 weeks, whereas judo, the draw happens the day before the event. You've got notes on all the different opponents, but you're having up to 5 or 6 matches in a day. So preparation's a little bit different than an MMA fight. So.
And talking about an MMA fight, as you mentioned, it is, looking at the Instagram here, it is 10 days to go until the first show of the new promotion, Melbourne Fight Series, which you are the promoter of. When did this idea begin to start?
So Wayne Carl, the great man who ran Demolition, Owen Coughlin, who's one of my athletes. He was the last main event, and Wayne said, "I'm done. I'm not running anymore." And I was like, we love demo. We love everything Wayne does around it. I've run a few Wimp to Warrior / Ultra events before, so we knew how to run events with Sara Collins, who is invaluable in helping me with this stuff. And I ummed and ahed and then bought the cage off Wayne. But then with how busy my judo schedule is, it was really hard trying to find the right time to slot in a show. And the other difficulty was that we were told that Sara would fight Cyborg in September, then in October, then in November, and now it's going to be in December. So that was the big kicker of having to do the show in October, because we were told it was going to be mid-November, and now it ends up being December, which is fine for us as well. But it was about trying to slot that first show in. Obviously, we wanted to keep the same venue as demo, so yeah, it was. It's been a while in the making. It's just been having the time to organize it. I mean, much like Wayne, this isn't my full-time job. I'm doing it because I think there's a need for another amateur show around, and we've gotten some pretty good support so far from about 10 gyms in Victoria. So we're looking forward to it. It's still a lot more work to do and not so easy from the other side of the world, but yeah, we're getting there.
So you mentioned there, Owen was the main event of the last demo show. It got announced the next day kind of publicly that demo was shutting down. Obviously, you're a man who's in the know, so maybe you had heard earlier. How quickly after demo shutting down do you go like, well, we'll do a show?
So I think I agreed to buy the cage in December, January. And Wayne was, because we'd used that cage before, we'd actually used that venue before for a Wimp to Warrior event. Wayne was like, yeah, I'd prefer you to have it because I know that you'll do something that's at least similar to what we were doing, which we wanted to do. The whole time along, I've been saying, Wayne, please, you're more than welcome to come back and do it. Like, it's not easy organizing one of these things. But yeah, so January new, and then it was just trying to find a time to run a show with my heavy travel schedule with judo, obviously with the gym as well. And so we couldn't get it done until October. Our plan is only to do a couple of shows a year, especially leading into LA Olympics. We've got Com Games next year. So we'll do 2 shows a year. And yeah, I don't think it'll be any more than that, maybe 3 maximum moving forward.
I mean this like with the utmost respect, because I know what it's like, not like from personal experience, but I've seen what it's like to run a show behind the scenes. I know, people who run shows. You're a man who works for judo full time, runs your own gym as well. Those 2 things take so much time. They take you all over the world. You talk about the travel. Why sign up for being a promoter? Why sign up like, I'll just make stuff harder? Like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Well, that's me, unfortunately. I think I must have had a gap of maybe a month or so at home, and I went, oh, this will be a great idea, like, why not? There is a space for it, and the event, for as long as I can make it so will be an amateur event, because, like I said, there's space for it there, and I think everyone will be happy that there's still it's not going to be the same as demo, but it'll be remnants of demo running through, and just a good opportunity for guys to get fights. There was a gap in the market, in my opinion, so I thought it's a good opportunity to jump in, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah. But yeah, not the smartest move. Regretting it now, 10 days out, when we've got fighters who haven't done their medicals and trying to organize selling tickets and all that kind of stuff, and praying that there's no more dropouts. So yeah. Not regretting it, but yeah, it's a little bit difficult at the moment. I'm lucky. Sara helps me a lot. A girl who works in the gym, May, has been helping a lot. Those 2 have been awesome in everything they've been doing for me. So yeah, we'll see.
As if the life wasn't hectic enough.
No, exactly. Sleep when you're dead.
You talk about, you've kind of mentioned you saw a gap in the market. It's a good place for the amateur people to come through and gain experience. But like, what is the goal for Melbourne Fight Series?
It's just to run good amateur events and get guys with experience. I mean, it's really with how big the amateur market is now. I don't want to be big. You're not going to see me running events at the pavilion or anything like that. We'll stay where we are. I want amateurs and debutantes to do it in a safe, more friendly environment and just get guys fights. That's what they want. They want fights, and then they can go on to Hex and things like that, or even Road to Hex, just potentially a step up from there, and then jump on with their careers. I have no interest in doing any pro promotions.
You mentioned about you're only going to look to maybe one or two a year, and those types of things. And obviously that kind of depends on the schedule for yourself. But like, do you think that would be like one at the start of the year, one at the end of the year? Like, how do you kind of draw it up?
Dependent. Like you go first, so we'd probably have to split it into the year into thirds. Probably one every 4 months. So end of the year, not sure. We've done one the last third of the year this year. Do one in the first third. We've got com games next year, so maybe at the end of the second third, we'll just see. And also, I want to try and avoid the other shows too. I don't think that we need to be in competition with each other in terms of getting fights. There's enough people who want to fight around that we just try and make sure they're 4 or 5 weeks separated so that there's plenty of market for it.
Although you're a man who is incredibly experienced in all facets of martial arts world, you were talking before about this is a bit of a new world being in the promoter side. You mentioned Wayne Carl, a man who ran a fantastic show that felt like it was around for longer than it was. It didn't feel like they did less than 20 shows or however many it was. Has he given you any particular advice or anything about running a show?
He's been a great person just for where's this, what's that, can you help me with like insurance, for example, and things like that. We ran 4 Alta shows previously. Now that's easy because I don't have to do any matchmaking for it other than mostly internally. So he's been a great help with anything I've needed, but I know how to run an event because we've done it before. It's more like things that we hadn't had to worry about, like sponsors, like I don't know. There are things he's helped with for sure, but we had a general idea of how we wanted to run it, and also mostly it's like he ran it. Like our Alta shows, like we had like the meals for the staff. We put a pause on for 20 minutes, and they're like, "Oh, this is exactly the same as what Wayne does." So yeah, it's a great formula. So yeah, we're imitating him as much as possible.
This is a show that has a lot of high level amateur guys on it from, as you mentioned, all around Victoria. You've got a bunch of gyms jumping on board. What are some of the matches you're particularly looking forward to? Is there anything you think people should really look out for on this card?
Definitely the main between Massimo and Wardeck. That's going to be a really good fight. Both those guys are really, really talented. Then the flyweight bout with the boy Versace Dave from Bones against Seth Love from Somerville MMA. They're going to be 2 really, really cool fights. And then there's another fight that's going to be really interesting. So it's going to be a stand-up war. There's 2 guys who are very experienced stand-up, Dion Arvin and Andoni. It's going to be a really interesting fight too because they're both really experienced striking-wise. Dion's got a bit of experience with MMA, and Andoni hasn't. So it's going to be interesting to see if that tilts thing one way or the other as well. So they're probably 3 matchups really looking forward to. And we won't talk about the resilience guys that much. We got 4 on, but 2 of them are debutants. But yeah, it's going to be fun, and I'm really happy that we managed to get, I think, 3 or 4 debut fights on the card as well, because that's really important for people to be able to get in there and either we got a couple of guys who I reckon it's a bucket list item for them to be able to do that as well, because some of the guys are experienced, but they've never had that opportunity to jump in a cage. So it's about matching so that it's fair and they get a good experience out of it as well.
A match was announced 22 hours ago, as we mentioned before, at least on Instagram it was. And we mentioned before,
Yep.
we're 10 days out. Are there any matches still left to come out, or is the card
No,
set?
it'll be an 11 fight card.
And I'm not seeing, not that I can see at the moment, like a running order. You mentioned there are some resilience guys on. How will that work for you? Running the show, also like you have to run out.
I won't be coaching on the night. I'm lucky that got Cal Potter and Luke as well. Lucas Catabig, both very experienced. Our BJJ coach Jeremy Maitland will jump in as well. I made it very clear that if I'm going to run it, then I won't coach on the night because I want to make sure the thing runs smoothly. So Cal can do it. He's more than capable. And then the running order will come out when I get home on Friday. So we've got everything locked in, and then we'll go from there.
I've seen Cal corner before. I believe I've seen Lucas corner before, but I've seen you corner plenty of times as well. How in general, not even necessarily on the night, are you a guy like if one of your guys are fighting but you're not in the corner, are you like gonna be okay, or are you like I want to get in there, I want to help out type of guy?
I definitely will be the latter, but we have to control ourselves, and I want the event to run smoothly, and I also want the other gyms to stay involved. So that's going to be the juggling act. We're trying to match as fairly as we can. And I don't want mismatches. And I think it's good because I have been in the game for a while and everyone knows, he's a grumpy guy, but he's pretty straight with how he does things. And that's how the matching has to be. It have to be even fights. Otherwise, what's the point? So I think it's better if I take a step back from being cage side and make sure everything runs smoothly and we run a good show.
We talking about the resilience guys making their debuts. You're a man who at judo has competed at the highest level, and mixed martial arts competed at the highest level, and has coached at the highest level on both of those things as well. You mentioned some of these guys want to do it, but didn't have an opportunity to step into the cage. From the coach's perspective, what's it like preparing a guy, talking to a guy for his first amateur fight? This is the first time these people are going to experience like anything like this.
Because we've done the Wimp to Warrior / Alta thing, we've got a fair bit of experience at being able for them to embrace something that they never will have done before. Like we got one of our guys is 36 years old. And that's when I got into the UFC, I'm pretty sure it was when I was 36. So it's really nice that these guys will get that opportunity. He's fighting another guy who's 30, who it's his first time as well. So it's really nice that they've got the opportunity to tick that bucket list item off. And then our other debutante's a younger guy, but he's had a little bit of boxing experience. So it's you put them through hard training so that they understand, but you can never account for how you feel when that cage door locks and there's someone across from you, regardless of if it's amateur or not, and they want to try and beat you up and you want to try and beat. So you don't actually ever know. And that's the exciting bit with debutantes as well. You just don't exactly know how they're going to react. And from a coach perspective, because coaching's coaching people, like you know the content and the sport, but it's the people side of things that's really interesting. So the debut ones, it's always really interesting for me.
Taking off the promoter hat, we're talking about coaching, talking more about coaching now. You mentioned it earlier. We go from talking about people who are stepping in for the first time for amateur MMA to now someone who will be coaching, who will be fighting at the highest level for a world title. I'd be amiss if I didn't talk to you about Sara versus Cyborg. You mentioned it's been a bit. You mentioned it's been a bit of a journey to get here. I heard it was trying to be in February of this year was the first time they were looking for the fight. We're here now. It's in December. How are we feeling?
Excited. excited. If anyone deserves this opportunity, it's Sara Collins. Like, she has worked so hard to get here, not just in her judo career, but it's not easy to get fights in women's MMA. And I mean, it took her years and years to get to 3-0. And then we get the opportunity in Bellator, and she's just taken it with both hands and shook it to hell. I mean, the way she dealt with Leah McCourt in under 3 minutes was incredible. And Leah was meant to fight Cyborg. So it's excitement for us. She'll do the work. She's a hard worker. She's tough as nails. And yeah, we can't wait. Can't wait to watch her jump in there. And incidentally, she said, if you come to the show and do and have a media pass, she will do an interview with you as well. I've got that guarantee from her as well. So
now that is the shocking thing about this. I was coming.
So
I was hoping to come to the show. I'm not going to say I was coming to the show because I'm not going to assume, but I was hoping to come to the show and cover it no matter what. But that, bro, that's insane.
Yeah. No. She said she'll finally, and you know how she is about talking to media.
I know.
If she spoke to media how she does in everyday life, she'd get a lot more fans. But she just doesn't enjoy it at all. So
what do you think it is?
She's a bit of an introvert. Like, she loves competition, and that's what the tester is for her. It's testing herself in competition and proving to herself that she can do something. The other side of it, she's not super interested in. And I get that. I was very similar when I was an athlete. So I get it, but you need to be able to talk. And she can. I mean, you've spoken to her. She's articulate. She just doesn't like doing interviews. But she said for Melbourne Fight Series and if you're covering it and for this, then she'll do an interview with you.
She's the best. That's how much she believes in the show, bro. She's doing it for the greater of Melbourne Fight Series.
Absolutely. Oh, look, I couldn't have a more loyal friend than Sarah. Sarah and Owen are great people. So yeah, lucky to have them around.
Talking about just one more on the fight, or something about the fight. Cyborg's been off doing boxing, and I feel like, and especially because there's been such a long time between MMA fights, and this fight took kind of so long to get made, I wasn't sure if Cyborg was kind of ever going to come back, to the point where when Cyborg was saying, no, I'm going to come back and yeah, I'll fight Sarah, like she was pushing for the Sarah fight, I was a little bit like, oh, wow, like I was surprised. What was that like from your end to have like Cris Cyborg is calling to fight Sara Collins?
Well, there's kind of no one left for her to fight in MMA. Like, she's outside of the UFC. I mean, Kayla Harrison could be at 66, but there's no 66 kilo division in the UFC. And once she beat Pacheco, there's nobody else. Like Sarah, Leah McCourt was meant to be the next one to fight her, and Sarah dealt with her really quickly. So ever since Sarah beat McCourt the way she did, they said your next fight will be against Cyborg. It's just, we didn't believe it had happened until she signed on the dotted line that it was actually going to happen. For the same reasons as you. We didn't think she'd come backwards and forwards. But we've got the fight now, and now we get ready.
Last one on the fight from me. So much of the box. Sorry, the interview's not about the fight, but I've got you. So
no. I'm happy to talk. Happy to talk about Sarah. No problems at all.
Oh, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. As I mentioned, Cyborg's been off doing boxing. Her last MMA fights have been a lot more stand-up affair. Sarah, anyone coming out of Resilience, ridiculously high-level grappling. How do you kind of see the matchup playing out?
So Cyborg did wrestle quite a bit with Pacheco. Kept trying to take her down. So the big thing with, Sarah, Cyborg shoots, Sarah can throw it. Cyborg clinches, Sarah will throw it. And Sarah won't necessarily stay at boxing range because she's pretty complete with her striking, with kicking as well. So it's going to be really interesting. I mean, nobody gave Sarah a chance when she fought Sinead Kavanagh. And Kavanagh did nothing. She didn't bring any kind of forward pressure because Sarah was kicking her the whole time. She didn't want to get close. So I just think, yes, Cyborg's incredibly powerful and explosive, but Sarah's got tools everywhere and she's very strong. So it'll be really, really interesting. Really interesting.
Melbourne Fight Series, as I mentioned at the top, is on in 10 days, October 24th from Club Italia Sporting Club in the more out west in Melbourne. There are tickets available via Eventbrite on the Melbourne Fight Series Instagram account. Is there going to be a live stream of it?
There is going to be a live stream that came out today. Let me double check what that is too. Sorry, give me one sec. No. Yep. Ticket link in the bio, streams on Live Combat Sports.
Excellent. Dan, I thank you so much for the time. It's an absolute pleasure to speak to you. As I mentioned at the top, you're in Peru. What does the rest of your time in Peru look like?
We've got a comp tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, fly home. But leave on Wednesday, don't get back home until Friday because we cross back over the date line.
And then what is left to do for the show?
Got to do the last of the medicals, and then go out to the venue, check everything out. Everything pretty much, it's kind of all ready to go, but like with fight shows, there's always some curveball that's going to get thrown. But yeah, no, everything's pretty much ready to go, I think.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to, based on this conversation, I think I will be there. I think I've got a media pass, which I'm very, very thankful for.
You definitely have got a media pass. Definitely.
Thank you, sir. That means the world to me. Dan Kelly, thank you for the time. Best of luck in the comp tomorrow with your team, and safe travels home.
Beautiful. We'll see you in a week and a bit.